Welcome to a beautiful, snowy, and cold day in Colorado. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Hope everybody is doing fantastic. Wow, this year is off to just a banging start. We are just unbelievably busy. Work is being work, and very little time off. But brain's always running, and I thought since today I got a day off, I would jump on the computer and just ramble about absolutely nothing. What an exciting day. I hope everybody is doing well out there in the wonderful, wonderful world. Now one of the big things that I really wanted to cover in this video is Hawaii's recent court decision on gun rights, which is absolutely an abomination of humanity. But do we expect anything more from people who don't actually follow the law? I don't think we should, but let's get this started. So, according to the trusty news outlets, let's read this for a bit. Hawaii court says spirit of aloha supersedes Constitution and the Second Amendment. And that is no joke. Hawaii's highest court Wednesday ruled that the Second Amendment, as interpreted by the U.S. Supreme Court, do not extend to Hawaii citizens. You believe that? Rights guaranteed to be protected by the government are now being denied their existence by the government. In the ruling, which was penned by Hawaii Supreme Court Justice Todd Edens, the court determined that states retain the authority to require individuals to hold proper permits before carrying firearms in public. The decision also concluded that the Hawaii Constitution broadly does not afford a right to carry firearms in public places for self-defense. Further pointing to the spirit of aloha, and I don't know where that is found in the Constitution, but we'll continue. And even quoting HBO's TV drama The Wire, because that right there is good jurisprudence to quote TV shows. That is fantastic. Hey, Joe, how are you doing today? Article 1, Section 17 of the Hawaii Constitution mirrors the Second Amendment. And it really doesn't sound like it now, does it? The Hawaii Supreme Court decision states, we read these words differently than the current Supreme Court. Now, I don't understand why that matters. The current, former, future, the law of the land is the law of the land. That is very difficult to overcome, no matter what TV show you're quoting. But the spirit of aloha, which again may be kind of difficult to find in the U.S. Constitution, clashes with the federally mandated lifestyle that lets citizens walk around with deadly weapons during day-to-day activities. The history of Hawaiian Islands does not include a society where armed people move about the community to possibly combat the deadly aims of others. Wow. That is one giant mouthful of diarrhea right there, because none of that makes any sense. Yeah, the Aloha Cause ain't really going to be upheld now, is it? Because I'll be damned, reading the Constitution, it is very difficult to find aloha in the Constitution. And wow, that is one hell of a stretch. Whew. Unbelievable. The court opinion further says the state government's policies curbing certain gun carry rights have preserved peace and tranquility in Hawaii. Tyrant's gonna tyrant. That is absolutely the law of history. Here there's a lot of peace and tranquility in North Korea. Unbelievable. These people are actually judges. These people actually went to higher education, which is, these days basically daycare. So these people were required to go to an adult daycare to get a piece of paper that says, hey, I'm smart. And this is what they come up with. It is absolutely shocking. Like, there are really terrible freaking rulings, but this one is just, these people should be drug tested. Like, this is some seriously drug induced freaking stuff. In addition, the Hawaii Supreme Court notes a quote from HBO's The Wire. The thing about the old days, the court opinion states, makes no sense for contemporary society. Yeah, there was a time when people used to march, wasn't there, Joe? Come on now. I don't blame it on the dope. Don't blame it on the dope. I blame it on the people that use it that shouldn't. Like Barnes says, it's okay to be stupid. It's okay to be a criminal. Not a good idea to be both. If you're already stupid, then the drugs probably aren't a good idea. It takes both. Stupid people and drugs. That's how you get this. The founding era's culture, realities, laws, and understanding of the Constitution. I'm sorry. I think those people were way smarter than you guys. That is just, people, those sham hack fucking founding fathers. Yeah, I think they might be just a little bit smarter than the Hawaiian Supreme Court. This is the bigger issue is, how do you undo a ruling like this? Because there is always that historic point in time, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but it is an apt quote for the day. Some leader, politician, something, when he received a ruling from the Supreme Court he disagreed with, and I believe it was President Jackson, but I may be completely wrong. Don't quote me on it. But he is quoted as saying, "That is a fine ruling. Now let's see you enforce it." What powers does the Supreme Court have to enforce Bruin, to enforce Heller, to enforce any of the others? What power do they have? I mean, they have the power of the pen. They can do this, but little shit pot island in the middle of the Pacific with tin pot dictators thinking they know better about your rights than those hack framers from 200 years ago. That means nothing today. What power do we actually have to enforce the law? Because obviously the court system isn't necessarily a great option when you're looking. This case originated in 2017. You're literally talking about 7 years ago. Do people just sit in limbo for 7 years waiting for some kind of relief from a court that can just be unilaterally ignored by some apparatchik on a fucking island? Like, what is the legitimate remedy? Like, I think that's a very uh, poignant question, because if we're just left with let's just say the Tim Pool option, um, that doesn't work either. Like, I don't know. It's a very tough one. And then you have, on top of that, federal agencies going rogue. You have federal agencies making up their own rules, federal agencies ignoring laws, ignoring rights, on top of the fact that now we have states in open rebellion against the Constitution. Let's not mince words about it. The highest court of the Tin Pot Dictator Island has declared open rebellion against the Constitution. So how do we remedy open rebellion? Man, it is it's dark times. That is when someone believes they know better. That leads one direction, and it's ugly. The Texas thing is a big old show for the camera, and the Texas issue. Which Texas issue exactly? Because there's a couple of them going on, and legitimately, everything's done for the camera. It's, if you can't get your word out and show what's legitimately going on, then obviously nothing's going to ever change. So there is something to be said that kind of everything is staged for the camera. But I mean, we've got issues with the convoy, the trucker thing in Texas, and now evidently they're being harassed and harangued by law enforcement, which is not a good thing, but that's obviously going to be used by both sides as propaganda. Um, but there's also the migrant caravans throughout the country, which is also yeah. I mean, there is no appetite to close the border. I mean, let's be honest about it. Deploying the National Guard to throw them out of that park. I can't remember the name of the park. To throw them out of the park, yeah, it's done for the camera. Probably also done for some purpose, but yeah, it's a show of force. Just like shipping migrants all over the country to sanctuary cities, and Colorado's no different. Denver's been now inundated with multiple shipments of the Democrats' favorite voting bloc. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, that was the point of the View, wasn't it? That if we didn't have uninhibited migration from third world countries, who's going to clean the toilets? That was the express point on the View many, many years ago. So we know what it's about. Like, anybody with a rational mind can stop and think. We know exactly what it's about. It's about displacement, and when you displace, you drive a lot of economics down. There is absolutely um, a drive to depress the economy. For what reason? I think it's fairly obvious. Without economic turmoil, there can be no revolution. Everybody knew it. Marx knew it. Engels knew it. They wrote about it. Without a subservient class, there can be no revolution. And throughout the U.S. history of the ridiculous communist movements, they knew the one thing stifling any type of communist revolution in America was the fact that there was economic mobility in capitalism. And as long as there's economic movement in capitalism, there is no ability to entice the workers to rise up against the economic forces. So I think it really just needs to be boiled down to its basic elements. If look at all the TikToks, look at all the little YouTube shorts, everybody freaking out about having to work for a living. I think that is absolutely a symptom of what they are trying to accomplish in what they're doing. And it can be mirrored with driving up interest rates. Credit card debts are out of control. All of this really just points to an economic malaise that they can exploit for their own political ends. And I don't think there's I don't think that can be discounted. Someone in need will always look to someone in power, and the person in power claiming to advance the fulfilling of the needs will get votes of people who want an easy way in life. Is it working? I don't think it's working. I really don't. I think more than anything, there's a very solid and energetic pushback against the forces pushing the economy down. And I think we can see that in all the polls. I think we can see that with the current resident of the House in Washington. I think we can really see that there's a sea change. You know, the problem is people remember yesterday. People remember that we don't have to live like this. We don't have to run a government like this. We don't have to settle for the economic melees that they're pushing on us. And as long as there's a memory of that, there's going to be very solid pushback. So I don't think that will work, but there are many other things that do work. Just in the news today, in my disgusting state, Denver mayor blames Republicans and Trump for $5 million budget cuts to pay for the migrant crisis in Colorado. Now, how is that a thing? Trump's not in power. Trump has not been in power for 3 years. Oh, they blame Trump for scuttling the bill of disasters that was trying to be pushed through the Senate. And according to the news I read, just according to what I read, even the Democrats couldn't hold their ranks to pass that disastrous freaking garbage bill. Can you imagine holding the border hostage, and not only holding the border hostage, but allowing the continuance under law of undocumented migrants to flood across the border to the tune of at least 5,000 a day? That's not border security. That's literally throwing the gates open. That is literally allowing all of this to continue. There is nothing secure about it. But because nobody wanted to vote for a garbage bill that literally they want more money going to defend the border of Ukraine than they want defending our own national border. And that's the bill. Nobody can deny that. Not only have we spent hundreds of billions of dollars already defending the most corrupt nation on earth being invaded by one of the most, I don't even know what you would call Russia anymore, equally corrupt, whatever. There you go. Hundreds of billions of dollars to defend Ukraine's border. We haven't spent hundreds of billions of dollars defending our border. Why? We have migrants beating cops in New York City. Border's not closed. We have migrants shooting people in New York City. Border's not closed. We're capturing undesirables at the border every day. Border's not closed. But Ukraine's border deserves hundreds of billions of dollars. And even in this bill, 60 billion going to Ukraine, 20 billion going to our own border to mandate it staying open. You can't, I'm sorry, you can't argue a point like that. So with Denver just deciding that its own citizens do not deserve the first place in line for the tax revenue that we provide the city of Denver. Okay. So this is interesting. Mayor Mike Johnson, a Democrat, announced on Friday that hours will be cut at recreation centers, in-person vehicle registration renewals. How about that? The planting of spring flower beds. Like, it's insane. What can you do about it? This is an issue that's been going on for over a decade. Cities unilaterally deciding that they're sanctuary cities, allowing All of this despite federal law. And it comes down to the Hawaii issue. What remedy do we have? Do we have a remedy? Is there a remedy that can be sought? Is there a remedy that can fix it? Now, not just as a downer, I think there is. And I think it starts with very bold legislation. Now, I'm not one that is a fan of laws generally, and I'm not a fan of throwing people in prison. Really not. Prisons are, I think, a terrible, terrible option. But how about, I remember 20 some years ago, there was a push for a type of work verification. And can't quite, was it E-Verified? Something like that. And that right there, that can solve a lot of the issues. But the bigger problem is who's ever employing these people who are not legally allowed to work. If the onus was put on the business owner, this would solve every issue tomorrow. If it was a federal crime to hire and retain undocumented illegal migrants, punishable by the employer, you send the employer to prison for hiring people that are not allowed to be working in this country. There you go. Period. The end. The whole problem stops tomorrow. People will not stay. People will not come. Now, do we have the political will for something like this? No. Absolutely not. Nobody, I mean, legitimately, you can count on one hand how many people in Congress probably actually want to support the resolution of this issue. It's a hard fact. Nobody wants to stem the migration. So how do you solve that problem? Well, I think that problem's actually being solved methodically and much like eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? Everybody knows how to eat an elephant. One bite at a time. And I think we're resolving that problem with Congress, one bite at a time. Because look at that garbage bill in the Senate. That was bipartisan. They wrote it bipartisan. How many Republicans voted for its passage? I don't believe a single one did. And that is the blowback that was levied against them. So I think it's working. But I'll tell you, no group of people, nation, town, no group of people have ever survived being on defense. It's an impossibility. Eventually, you'll be defeated. So the issue is not just we defeated this bill today. There'll be another garbage bill tomorrow. We all know it. What happens when a garbage piece of legislation makes it through? We all know. We have to fight and fight and fight, and it never gets repealed. We can look back to all of the garbage legislation that was passed under the great Hussein Obama. None of it's repealed. They just build off of it. That's the new norm. That's the new standard. So being on defense, that's dead man walking. The only strategy moving forward has to be offense. We have to be strong enough to throw out legislation that is not popular among the ruling class. We have to be strong enough to stand up in opposition and say there's a better way. And without the offense, we're just waiting to be overrun. Everybody should know that you can't sustain defense in perpetuity. It can't happen. So as long as our side, whatever the F that means, our side's just as stupid as the other side. There's no side fighting for America. Show me one. You know, I find it absolutely fucking ridiculous that throughout my entire life, both sides have just devolved into the same thing. That gun rights are basic human rights. They are basic fucking human rights. Everybody has the right to self-defense. Everybody has the right to any tool that gives them the self-defense they need. Period. The end. Whether it's carrying in public for self-defense, whether it's at your home for self-defense, whether it's a pistol, whether it's a rifle, whatever you feel comfortable in self-defense is your fucking right. But damn it, Joe, you derailed my ramblings. How dare you? Absolutely. Without offense, we're literally just sitting there waiting to be overrun. And that's all I am not a registered Republican. I'm not a registered Democrat, obviously. The reason I'm not a registered fucking Republican is they're no better than the fucking Democrats. Our side is just as fucking pathetic as their side. I don't even want to be part of this side. I don't want to be part of the Mitch McConnell side. It's the only goddamn side that is at least fighting back against the fucking lunacy when they're not joining the lunacy. It's rather infuriating. Hey, Treetop. Oh, hey, buddy. How are you doing today? Oh, I've got a bunch of your videos queued up. I am so far behind on watching videos. It's freaking crazy. So what happens when you work like 8 days straight and get a day off, 8 days straight and get a day off. Oh, but I'm saving all your video. Every time I get a notification, I'm clicking your videos to save them, and I just don't. Burning time. But no, Oh, man. That sounds fantastic, man. Man, when you first start a freaking car or an engine the first freaking time, it is such a great feeling. The seconds leading up to starting it don't feel so good, but man, once it cracks to life, that is such a great feeling. Brakes are okay too, but yeah, it's great to see you, brother. So I often joke with my friends about politics and this, that, and the other, and it's how did we end up? How did we end up in a situation where the only person, not perfect, not a cult member, always check yourself, not a fucking cult member, the only person actually trying to talk to the fucking people is a billionaire playboy land developer from New York? How? How did we wind up in a position where the only person actually trying to talk to the people? This is a fucking insane time. This is an insane world. Like, our politicians don't give a crap about anything that's hurting America right now, anything. And you can see it in the bill. Oh, they'll allow 5,000 across the border. I believe he does actually care about this country. You know, like, okay, he's not great on 2A. He's not. He made a lot of bad choices, but he made a lot of good judge choices, which have advanced the cause. And I'm not going to say that's 4D chess or something stupid like that. He's not great on 2A. But the judge picks he's made have actually been freaking good on 2A. So, like, I'm very, very fucking 2A. And I don't like some of his stances on the 2A legislation, laws, community, deferential to the ATF. I don't like that. And I'm not going to be friggin' rolled over by it. But I'll tell you something. If the fucking country implodes, all that goes to the wayside. It really does. There's the movement that has grown around him, I think is, and this is going to be weird, the movement around him, I think, is better than him. And I say that because there's a lot of people that take notice not only of how he built the ideas, but they're also taking the ideas that matter, like 2A, and bringing them to the forefront, and all the bullshit that nobody wanted and leaving it behind. I think what he started is being refined into a stronger movement where he is not perfect. The people holding him up are better. And you can look to Vivek. Vivek uses a lot of the same America first. But he's also very pro 2A. You look at Carrie Lake. You look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. You look at Lauren Boebert. You look at Matt Gaetz. Those people are refining the movement started by the New York Playboy billionaire and refining it into what the promise should be. And that I see is very important. But one of the things that I will say to the end of time, in 2016, I had a chance to vote for a criminal or a comedian. Okay, that's not a hard choice. Now, mind you, I will not vote for a Democrat. They have all turned out to be liars. They have all turned out to be cheats. They literally could not care less about their constituents. So it was a choice between a criminal and a comedian. And yes, Joe, 100%. There, no man, whether in Congress or in city council, has the right or the obligation to vote on what my rights should be. Period. As far as I'm concerned, anybody who does forfeits their right to hold office. But in 2016, I think a lot of people didn't know if he was telling the truth, but it was better than the alternative. It wasn't until the lame duck session before he was inaugurated and Carrier Heating and Air Conditioning was moving their facility to Mexico. He didn't have to do anything. That happens daily with companies and businesses. Literally happens daily. But what he did was he literally said, I will tax you out of existence. You are taking jobs from Americans, giving them to foreign labor for profits. He didn't have to. He wasn't holding the office yet. He didn't have to do a damn thing. But he did. And Carrier about faced. They did a 180 that day. Period. The end. Motherfucker saved jobs, saved families, saved people. And he didn't have to. He was a billionaire playboy. Could have gone to Mar-a-Lago. Could have just relaxed. And he didn't. And that meant a lot. It really meant a lot. And despite everything else, he cared enough to do something. And that sealed it. And that spirit we need more than anything else. with all of the chaos at the border, with all of the disaster that has been wrought by this administration, the courts, the stupidity. We need faith that someone cares. And when you can count that on one hand, how many people with the ability to affect change in our government, when you can count that on one hand, how many people actually care about the fucking people, that means a lot. It really does. Faith is going to come in one of those two boxes, Joe. It is. I'm not there yet, but I got a lot of option 2 in the waiting. The problem as I see it, are we bold enough to go on offense? As the podcasters and everybody, Tim Pool and all those, they are committing crimes. Do we have the resolve to hold them accountable for the crimes? After the Inspector General, no, whatever what was that? Not Inspector General. Special Counsel report on Biden. Oh, we can't charge this poor old man. I don't believe that's a valid defense. How many people believe that's a valid defense? The report was damning. Absolutely damning. Are you kidding me? Motherfucker committed crimes in the Senate? Committed crimes as vice president? Such an old man. We just cannot charge him. Or you can charge him for Ashley. You can charge him for Tara Reid, the intern. You can charge, like, and I'm sure if someone were to actually scrub that fucking laptop, probably find more crimes, wouldn't you? It's, oh, but we got time to charge Trump 96 counts of all kinds of fucking bullshit. Oh my God. They're practically the same age. Are you fucking kidding me? You are literally broadcasting to the world that our justice system is here to literally protect the apparatchiks. And anybody that says anything about them, they're the ones that will be prosecuted. Unbelievable. There's a reason. There's a reason people are hoarding those cartridge boxes right about now. I think that ominous feeling, that ominous feeling that I think everybody feels. Everybody that I talk to feels that way. there's something happening. There's something going on. There's something happening. We don't know what. We see the news every day, and I mean, it's further depravity every day. I don't know. Feels like a weight being put on everything. And as much as I disliked President 44, I never really felt this way. Like, nobody liked him. Nobody agreed with any of the BS he was pushing. But the world wasn't on fire. There wasn't endless conflicts going on around the world, paid for by U.S. taxpayers, to be honest. I don't know. I think it's going to be a hard year. I think it's going to be a really hard year. And looking at how the court cases are failing against Trump. I can't find a prosecutor who's not banging one of their fucking subordinates. Like, I think I think it's going to be a long year. I think it's going to be a really long year. And the one thing I hope is that they don't think they're bold enough to take a shot. Because nothing they've tried is working so far. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that from 1963 to 1968, twice, I don't think it's beneath them to try something like that. I really just hope they don't. But too heavy. Too heavy. Is that enough terrible news? I hope so. Every freaking day I read the news, and it's just all day long worse and worse and worse. And I just hope we're not heading down the path that everybody feels like we're heading down. I hope we're not heading down the path that history says we're leading down. This is not going to be a friendly path. But with all that, I've got one last thing. So, a buddy of mine at a gun shop had a really rare rifle roll through the gun shop. Really freaking rare. And in the United States. It's very rare in the United States. And he bought it from the guy, and I'm super, super freaking jealous of him. Paid like $2,700 for it. And I actually used to own 3 of them in the past. Just good timing, I guess. And I don't own any of that rifle these days. And I'm really, it brought back a lot of good memories. Brought back a ton of good memories. So I'm thinking about building one. But they are very expensive. All right, it's an SVT-40. Do you know what an SVT-40 is, Joe? Because I'd love to stop and tell you all of the great, glorious things about an SVT-40. Yeah, oh, damn it. It sounds like you know what an SVT-40 is. So yeah, SVT-40 rolled through the local gun shop, and he's like, I want that. And the seller's like, I'll take cash. And yeah, it was a really, in layman terms, yes, a Russian Grand, for sure. So this one, the guy actually cut the muzzle brake off of the end of the barrel. And for an SVT-40, the muzzle brake is really freaking cool on him. But so SKS for free? I don't know anybody that wouldn't be jealous about that. And Yugos, from what I understand, Yugos are actually probably one of the best SKSs ever made. They're really, Yugoslavia was actually really good at making guns, and they're really good at machining. And I imagine I'd love to have an SKS, but I actually don't have anything else that shoots 7.62 by 39. So yeah. It's pretty terrible that he cut the muzzle brake off, but que sera, sera. It's an SVT-40. You can get another muzzle brake for it. But it really started my fucking gears turning. I want another SVT-40. But I don't have piles of cash laying around everywhere. So I'm actually looking for some parts, mostly a receiver. And it popped into my head when I owned my SVT-40s. I loved them. Like, they're great. Not very accurate. 8mm Mauser. Oh. All right. I'll see what I can do. I actually have a stash of Mosin receivers and bolts and bolt parts and everything to do custom weird builds with. So yeah, I'll definitely see if I can find an 8mm barrel. So one of the things that I disliked about the SVT-40, the just pencil thin barrel. And I'm a rifle shooter. I love shooting. I love all that stuff. But if it's not accurate, it's kind of like, I kind of like accurate rifles. And one of the things that always bothered me about the SVT-40, it's such a pencil thin barrel. And there's actually a really cool video on YouTube, a high-speed video of an SVT-40 shooting. And you can actually see the barrel whip. And that's pretty Ooh, that's pretty intense. Yeah, Germany did an 8 millimeter Mauser conversion on most Nagants in Poland, I believe, when they occupied Poland, um, and had a bunch of rifles. They actually made 8 millimeter Mauser Mosins for the Polish, if I'm remembering correctly, for the Polish National Guard, basically under occupation by Germany. But they were not used as frontline weapons. Um, exactly. Whelan was dead on. Um, so I always thought, a nice heavy barrel on an SVT 40. And then I thought, can it be modernized? Um, can we do Bubba better than Bubba? And this one could really offend people if you have like an SVT 40. Let's face it, they are very hard to find in America. They're not plentiful. And then if you fucking Bubba one, you are gonna get hate. People are gonna fucking hate you for it. Well, I think it was actually probably before DMR was a thing. Um, I I've read a lot of books about it long time ago. Um, the one thing that sticks out of my head is they were favored by the female snipers because they were less recoil than the Mosin Nagant. So they were really heavily outfitted with the female sniper brigades. But I don't think DMR was actually um, a strategy, a practice in World War II. By no means am I a historian. I'm not a historian, but yeah, and rapid follow up shots uh, if they hit. But um, you take a rifle that's actually worth a good dollar and is very hard to find, and you start fiddling with it, you're gonna get hate, and that's one thing that yeah, bring the hate because I want to build an SVT, a custom built SVT uh, range rifle. I think that will be a lot of fun. Yeah, I thought DMR was more of a Vietnam era kind of doctrine. Yeah, um, all of our terms are being used loosely. Nothing I say should be gospel, ever. I am not gospel. And that's what I'm saying. If a rifle's already ruined, I mean, it's not ruined, but if it's already been taken apart, if it's already been sold off for parts, and you're building it from parts and pieces and this, that, and the other, I say it's fair game. I say it's 100% fair fucking game. Oh, 7x53. The Finns did that so much. Like the Finns had like a 6.3, a 6.5, a 7, a 7.62, and I want to say they had like a 9 millimeter by 53R. The Finns used that case and just stuck any bullet in it they could fucking come across. Finns were pretty cool. Um, but yeah, if the rifle's already taken apart, it's fair game. I'm not gonna buy a $3,000 freaking SVT 40 and bust out the Bubba freaking torches on it. But if someone's already taken it apart, that's my bailiwick, because I'm not ruining nothing. I'm bringing something back to life, and if I'm going to bring it back to life, we're going like Oh, what was that? Oh, damn it. I was going to make an analogy and then my brain stopped working. A $6 million man. If we're going to bring it back to life, we're going to make it fucking better. We're going to make it stronger. We're going to make it faster. We just don't have the money to do it awesome. Like, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. Like, SB. little SKS. Little SKS SVT. Little fire breathing fucking hole puncher. That'd be fucking hilarious. Yeah, the finish really, I mean, when it comes to ammo, I don't think you can beat the Finns. The Finns nailed down fucking ammo like freaking crazy. The Finns were really, really good at ammo. In fact, to this day, like the Finnish ammo is really among the best ammos. So, is that the best worst idea in history? Is to build a rifle on something that is actually worth a lot of money. Oh heck yeah. I love shooting. I fucking love shooting. I also love taming big caliber rifles. So somewhere on my channel I've got a little video about my son's Mosin, and he's been shooting it since he was 9. And it's got a 5-port massive muzzle brake from Muzzle Brakes and More, and those guys make some really good muzzle brakes. That freaking Mosin does not move. Like, it takes all of the hit out of that freaking cartridge. And mind you, it's not that devastating of a cartridge to shoot. Like, I can shoot freaking 54R all day long. It's not that punishing. But for my son, when he was so young, built this rifle, and it's literally like there's no freaking recoil. Like, it's sound and fury and freaking all that, and it's just nothing. It is absolutely a pussycat to shoot. So yeah, I just because I shoot a lot, well, when I make it to the range, I'm so freaking bad about making it to the range. But yeah, when I go to the range, I want a muzzle brake on all my rifles because I want to shoot all freaking day long and enjoy the shit out of it. Like props to Kentucky Ballistics, man. Like, I can't do that shit. Like, well, let's be honest, that's punishing shit that he does. And I'd much rather just sit there and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and not be punished for it. So yeah, most of my rifles have muzzle brakes, and I enjoy the crap out of them. Plus, you don't have the gun jumping around, and you don't gotta reset on target and all this stuff. So yeah, muzzle brakes, I totally a fan of. Well, my son's Mosin might detach your retina. The back blast is freaking intense. You can't stand next to him while he's shooting because it's an angled back style of brake, and it literally will blow the hat off your head. Like, it's pretty, and the concussion all comes straight back as well. So it's all that energy goes somewhere, but it's really fun to shoot, and you can shoot it all day long, and it's just a pussycat, and I dig that. But also, like, when you're long range, I only got to 600 yards at my gun club, but when you're shooting long range, you don't want to be resetting your rifle after every shot because it's jumping all over the place. That's kind of a pain in the whatever, but it is what it is. So I've got an idea. I've got an idea that will incite a lot of hate. And I'm just feeding off that. Can we make people hate building an SVT40? Yeah, 600's, I mean, it's not. 9-hole Reviews just did their 800-yard range with a PU sniper, Mosin. So I think 800 is probably about realistic max for a Mosin. Just because I look at the Mosin as basically a 308. And in fact, like I've said many times, my loadout in my Mosin hand loads is identical, literally identical to the loadout in my 308. 308 runs 175 grain Sierra Match King. My Mosin runs 174 grain Sierra Match King. They both ride on 43.5 grains of Varget. They are both identical and they both shoot extremely, extremely well. So I look at it as really being like a 308, and 308 realistic, the realistic effective accuracy is about 800 yards, and then I believe right around 800 yards it's dropping out of supersonic, and you get disruption and shit like that. So basic iron sights. You see these? My eyeballs ain't good. Well, they're not terrible, but yeah, iron sights. I used to shoot iron sights a lot. Really anymore, give me an optic. I love optics. Not the Jesus. Optics can be intimidating. But yeah, iron sights. I want to say 9-hole Reviews actually did a really good video on the Finnish M39, and he used iron sights through 800 yards. But he's a fucking phenomenal shooter. I mean, let's face it, he's not not anybody like I know. Match Rifle has globe sights. What is a globe sight? I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know what a globe sight is. I do have a Mosin that's set up with peep sights. There was a company years and years and years ago, and I think it was just one guy machining these like in his garage or something, made fully adjustable peep sights for a Mosin that fit in the sight ramp of a standard Mosin. So you just pull your sight ramp out and put this in, and it's a fully adjustable little peep sight, kind of like the old competition sights. And I've shot that, but I don't know what a globe sight is. I have to check that out. That's fucking impressive. Any open sights, like I know there's freaking old shooters that shoot freaking iron sights beyond 1,000 yards. That's not me. Not me at all. I think it's impressive. You start getting like 300, 400 yards. I can't see shit. Like, I see a piece of paper on a target somewhere out there. Bullseye? Shit. Fucking give me a break. I can't do that. That's way beyond my skill. My skill is basically hobbyist. Like, I love all the toys. Give me a really good trigger. Give me a really good optic. Give me a really good rifle. And I will be completely average. Like, I am not, by no means am I a freaking skilled shooter. But I can bring up that average pretty fucking good. Like, I'll shoot right in the middle of the pack. So yeah, that's impressive. Freaking 600 yards. That is a good stretch. Adjustable iris. Is that it kind of basically like a peep sight, I'm guessing? Um, yeah, some of these freaking the Palma shooters, the I seen one, the one that I remember, a dude was shooting um Swiss straight pull rifle. And I want to say it was like something stupid. It was 1,200 yards or something stupid. Totally open sights and hitting targets. And he was like 80 years old. And it's like, yeah, yeah, I am not that good. I got no problem saying I am not that fucking good. My goal has always been to be really, really good on glass. And if anybody wants to learn how to shoot really good with an optic, I would recommend Tiborosaurus Rex on YouTube. He's got a really, really good video catalog, Sniper 101, and it goes through the entire process of learning everything that you didn't think existed when it comes to shooting with an optic, and it's maddening. Yeah, yeah. Um, Terminology, maybe. Um, yeah, the ones that I know are basically just little peephole, and then it just has a uh, yes. Oh my god, he's fantastic. His series is unreal, and the knowledge that that dude's probably forgotten well exceeds mine. Like it is insane, but the knowledge is fabulous. He actually did a breakdown of the longest confirmed sniper shot. Um, I believe it was Canadian in Iraq, and it was 2.2 miles or something like that, with a 50 BMG. His breakdown was freaking crazy. It's like that is way beyond like, can I get on paper? Can I dial in a little bit of elevation? Can I? Holy, yeah. We'll just say I'm at the very beginning of this course because yeah, like there is so much to learn when it comes to hitting long range targets. But I got a pretty good rifle. If I ever get the chance to stretch legs, I actually have a 338 Lapua, and I don't shoot it that much. Like my passion, like I I don't think it's that hard to see. I love thinking and I love building. Like putting something together and making it run and making it awesome, that really drives me. Like I think too much, I nuke shit too much, I come up with stupid ideas. That is kind of like my thing. I love shooting. I fucking love shooting. But buying a brand new rifle and just putting an optic on it and being like, okay, let's go shoot it. And it's like, ugh. It's like, I love my 338 Lapua. It's probably like the last gun I'm going to think of. Just because it's like, I didn't build it. I didn't add anything to it. I didn't think about it. I didn't like, it's like, I love the rifle. It's a fantastic rifle. Anyway, my brain's gonna keep thinking about other rifles, and I just never think about my 338 Lapua. Yeah, he's definitely he's religious. I you know I'm not super religious. I am very much um a definitionally speaking agnostic. Um I'm not I I'm not arrogant enough to think that we're the top of the food chain. And I'm honest enough to say I don't know. But yeah, I'm open to it. I've been to church many times. I'm not anti-church or anything like that, but I'm just yeah. But yeah, I'm not about the fire and brimstone, and he can get a little fire and brimstone, but he's a good dude, and he makes really good content. Um, yeah, it's not for everybody, you know, but yeah, it's I I I dig his videos. I really dig his videos just because he's a fucking wealth of knowledge. That's the kind of knowledge you can't fucking buy. That dude, he's uh he's fucking knowledgeable, and he proves it. Him and there's another guy that I just found on YouTube. I can't remember his name, but he does some pretty freaking wild shots. Oh, and if you get the chance, Texas Planking, he's come up with this thing over the last year of doing 1,000-yard challenge. God, I'd love to try that. Never stretched to 1,000, but I'd love to try that 1,000-yard challenge because that's really freaking cool stuff. And people bring out all kinds of weird freaking rifles, weird calibers, weird rifles. One dude popped up with a Mosin and hit the 1,000-yard challenge. So it's pretty freaking cool. Gun rights I've been playing. Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, he's got a freaking ton of freaking videos in that 101 series. Yeah, well, I think he didn't quite understand 101 because it actually starts out really freaking really basic. Like, what's the distances you're shooting, and you need to pick a caliber um, uh, complementary to the distances you're shooting, what you're shooting at, yada yada yada. And he goes through a lot of the basics in the early videos, setting up the scope properly, yada yada, this, that, and the other. And then it just devolves into master level really fucking quick. And it's like, wait a minute, go back. I missed a step. Yeah, his videos are freaking great. Really, really well done. Really good information. So yeah, and I just love fiddling and tinkering. Like, uh, I definitely gotta get to the range way more often because it's just, oh, fucking work, fucking work, fucking work, fucking work. I work too much, but the brain's constantly thinking. Uh, and when I'm thinking, I think of things like, let's build a custom SVT-40. Why? Because no one else has done it. Dang it. And I need hate. Yeah, I stopped going to public ranges. There's one up in the hills from me that's Harris Park, and it's just federal land. And then they carved a shooting range out of it for federal land use shooting, yada yada yada. And it's hard to stretch to 100 yards there. But if you're not alone, it's freaking People do not take safety very much. Now, my private gun club, most of the time I go up there, it's so well manicured and kept. It's great. They keep it very clean, very nice. It's a really good range. But most of the time when I go up there, I'm the only one there. So it don't bother me at all. I'd love to have land to stretch out, but land prices are getting a little expensive, and interest rates fucking suck right now. No land in the near future, I don't think. Yeah, scopes are cool. Yeah. For the tool, you need the right freaking you need the right tool for the job. And yeah, when you're scopes aren't good for close shit. Like I was saying, right there, my AR-10 that I just built for myself, finally getting it done. It's just got a little red dot on it, a little 16-inch barrel, 308 AR-10 with a Burris 3-power red dot, which I think is pretty adequate for that, and that will do the job just great. SKS Paratrooper. I'd love to. We'll see how many SVTs we can come across. Because, yeah, this is going to be one that's going to take a bit. Because those things, even in parts, they are not cheap parts. So, but I've got a ton of it. I actually have a ton of SVT parts. Like I've got a complete bolt carrier assembly, a bunch of little parts, this, that, and the other. So if I can find just a stripped receiver, I can go to town. Now that's past 300 with an AR takes skill. Like that takes a lot of skill. And in fact, in the Texas Plinking, just the last one he released to the 1,000-yard challenge, actually had a guy shooting 223 at 1,000 yards. And that's fucking impressive. Like, you got to know your shit to do that. Yeah, 300 yards with an AR, I think that's, I might be mixing it up. Is that technical effective range? I believe. Yeah, I'm not too much of an AR guy. AR is a great tool. It's just overdone, you know. Yeah, M14s. That's I love the M14. It's a fantastic rifle. I actually had one a few years. M1A. Had one a few years ago, and yeah, that was a great rifle. It ran like a sewing machine. Yeah, 500 is still respectable. I mean, that's damn respectable with a 223. Like, uh, I don't care what anybody says. That little tiny lightweight bullet, that is damn respectable. 850 meters to me is optimistic at best. But that dude's shooting 1,000, and he hit the target. That's a dude who knows his fucking rig. It's a dude who knows how to shoot 5.56, 2.23 at range. Because that's not an easy task. That's a hell of a fucking shooter. So, oh, happy freaking Saturday, everybody. I think I'm going to jump off, everybody. Everybody stay safe. Everybody be good. Everybody come back for more. My interest in AR-15 is purely life. And yeah, it's a tool. Absolutely. It's a tool. And it's one of the best tools for the job. let's be honest. It's very hard to beat an AR-15 for home, self, whatever defense. It's very hard to beat it, you know. And I don't find them interesting. I mean, that's it. It's, I'm not knocking it, you know, mad respect. Like I just built an AR-10, you know, that's, you know, my tool, you know. I have mad respect for the AR-15. They are everywhere. Like every freaking channel. Oh, here's the attachment I put on. Here's the buttstock I put on. Here's the this thing, and let's try this. And I just don't like. It's no, you cannot beat it. Period. The end. Period. The end. You can build a super reliable, kitted out, like, you know, over what last 3 or 4 months just collecting parts here and there. I've got probably $500 in an AR-10. You can't beat it. Can't beat it at all. I have no passion for it. Like, it's a tool. Like, I'll take it to the range, get it freaking sighted in, get it worked up, get it comfortable, this, that, and the other. But it's not going to be my thing. Like, I want to take old bolt guns and fucking make something cool. I want to try different calibers. I want to, build wild, wacky shit. You know, my heavy barrel freaking PSL sitting right here, you know, like I want to try shit. I want to build shit. I want to, you know, parts kits and freaking finding unobtainium shit. I want a Bubba SVT 40. I'm not going to battle with an SVT 40. You know, I'm not going to be protecting the household with an SVT 40. Like, my drive is thinking wild shit. You know, I want to build something fucking cool. I want to build something fucking useful. I want to build something fucking accurate. I want to build something that, you know, screams fire and people run from it. And, you know, like, but those aren't my tools. My tools, my EDCs, my freaking AR, my everything. Like, those are my tools. And I'll practice with the tools and make sure they're up to snuff and make sure they're dead reliable. But they don't drive any, like, I don't know. Like, you understand? Like, I don't know. Like, you know, what drives my thinking, what drives my freaking shit is I want to do something weird. I want to do something you don't see, you know, SVT 40 Bubba fucking rifle out at the range. Like, I want to do something weird and wild. Oh, I missed. Yeah, you can't beat it. Retro AR-15s. I shot M16s in the military, like a Jesus. My God, man, it's been 27, 28 years. But yeah, old plastic fantastic freaking retro M16. I think it was an A2. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Can ARs be made interesting? That's like, I'd rather build a big fucking bolt gun. I'd rather build my 500 110 Winchester freaking Siamese Mauser, which I'm still looking for a barrel in 50 caliber for that. Yeah, I don't know. If you want fire, do a short-barreled HK91. I don't know a lot of HKs. What is an HK91? God damn it. See, you're pushing the limit of shit that I know. HK91. Semi-automatic version of the G. Oh, okay, so a G3. Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun indeed. I don't know if I can afford it. Remember, I'm on a shoestring budget here, guys. I would love to build all the freaking fancy cool shit. Definitely on a shoestring budget. We gotta go cheap. 5095 Alaskan. Yeah, the 50 Alaskan series is actually very, very similar to the 5110. And the only reason I'm doing a 5110 is because I've got the brass and I've got the dies and everything for it. So I've already got everything for a 5110. But yeah, the 50 Alaskan, I mean, it's right there. Like, it's essentially the same freaking cartridge. And I want to do a big, fat, heavy barrel for it. And that one I want to go hunting Hogzilla with. Those big fucking feral hogs. 5110 would be freaking awesome. Basically a G3. Yeah. I'll get there. God damn it. I'll get there. I'm trying, man. I'm not as popular as Brandon Herrera. I don't have his wall quite yet. But God damn it, I'm trying. I'm trying, man. Spent $300 on a set me. Yeah. Oh, dude. I've got a super slick FAL. One of the, was it about 10 years ago? We got a huge hit with parts kits from South America. And my local FFL guy got a bunch of kits and got a bunch of receivers and was building them and selling them. And I got one with integral bipod and heavy barrel, and dude, it runs like a sewing machine. I love the FAL. The only problem with the FAL is fucker weighs. Like, it is chunky. But if you're a man, that shouldn't bother you too much. But yeah, it is a little on the heavy side. But man, that bitch runs like a sewing machine. Like, it doesn't hiccup a bit. I've had older semi-automatic rifles. You always get the every now and again it jams, every now and again, blah, 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 blah. Man, that FAL just fucking trucks. Like, it is just fucking slick. Love that FAL. Yeah, I've never seen a set me for sale near me. I've heard, and I way out of my knowledge base, but I've heard the set me's do have some reliability issues, running and feeding. I don't know. That would be someone beyond my expertise. But yeah, the FAL, I've never had a hiccup with it. And of course, it was built by a really, really talented gunsmith. And yeah, you can't. I don't know if you can beat an FAL. Like, that is just, FAL is cream of the crop. Not sure how I feel about her. I hope he does some good. I don't think he'll sell out. And I mean, obviously, let's be honest, nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. My belief, if he sells out, he's ruined. Like, will his channel continue to be what it is? Which, his fucking channel's huge. Like, he does really good videos. Like, He's fucking... I think if he were to sell out, his fucking channel would evaporate. And I'm going to be optimistic, and I don't think he's going to sell out. But nobody knows. Let's be honest. Nobody knows. But that town does, the other side of the honesty coin, that town fucking burns people. Like, everybody becomes a fucking swamp monster, don't they? Save for, can you count the 5 fucking politicians who aren't fucking dirtbags? So yeah, it's that town. That town burns people. But I would hope he knows that if he were to fucking sell out, his, like, that what he's built could freaking evaporate. But yeah, am I an eternal optimist? Maybe. Like, I want to believe. Do I have any evidence? So yeah, I hope I support him. Not going to be freaking shy about that. I support him because fuck, at least he's talking about fucking real shit that no one else is talking about. That and running for Congress, he's still on the Unsubscribed podcast with very hot takes. So I want to believe. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Where does that belief go on day one? Fuck, I hope it's good. So yeah, I don't know. Had a case head separation with my Sent-Me. Could be a headspace issue. Could be. I wouldn't necessarily go to a headspace immediately, but it's always a good idea to have headspace gauges around because it literally eliminates that question immediately. Step one. Case head separation, I'd look at the ammo, steel case, brass case. A lot of guns that were designed for steel case run brass case really fucking well. A lot of guns designed for brass case destroy steel cases and hurt your fucking gun. That, and it could have been just a bad case if it just happened once. But yeah, I would imagine I would lean towards something with the ammo before I would lean towards some with the gun, or the gas setting may be too high if it has an adjustable gas setting. I don't know. But I know all the Russian garbage extracts fucking flawlessly and pitches brass very far. But I support him too, but a few years. Yeah, let's face it. The town's a fucking swamp. But you can still count on that hand. How many people haven't turned to fucking dirtbags? Look at their fucking bank accounts. The poor members of Congress are probably the fucking honest ones. Oh, Brandon Herrera, AK guy. But let's face it, there were 2 driving factors for me to start my YouTube channel. Aside from the fact that I'm, a very terrible fucking video person. Like, yeah, my videos are not Brandon Herrera quality. But that aside, but there were like 2 fucking things. And it was Nick Rekieta freaking telling people to fucking do it already. Because whatever reason. And Brandon Herrera doing fucking cool shit. You know, I like Demolition Ranch as much as everybody else, but he doesn't play with the cool things that I think are cool. And like I dig Kentucky Ballistics because he pulls out fucking wild shit, just wackadoo fucking rifles, and I think that's just cool as shit. And Brandon Herrera, I've always been kind of a Russian gun guy and this, that, and the other. So I was just like, fuck it. You know, I build shit that I like shooting and started freaking filming it. And here I am, the king of the world. No, I'm just a cringy fucking video maker that occasionally, you know, people enjoy watching my videos, is what it is. You don't see any honest politicians? Come on. There's honest ones. They're the ones that are living paycheck to paycheck. Dude never condemned BRCC for their bullshit. Agreed. I stopped drinking it. Which sucks because they actually make good coffee. But I'm not going to play that fucking game. Yeah, BRCC, that issue was that was bullshit. But look, I'm not going to make an apology for him. You know, he's a big boy. He can pick his friends as he sees fit. And they are friends of his. Okay. I would like to imagine that if my friends did something fucking stupid, I wouldn't put them on fucking blast to the fucking world because the world already knows. And I don't think that's being a good friend. But I don't know. That would be my deep thoughts for the day. Deep thoughts. But yeah, I'm how many fucking years later, BRCC, and yeah, that's still a fucking they make really good fucking coffee. And I dropped them that fucking day. Because I fucking shelled out the money for expensive fucking coffee. You know, oh, it's the 2A community, fucking help them out, blah, 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 chip them a buck, you know, whatever. They help veterans and this, that, and the other. Dropped them that day. They played on the wrong train track. And I haven't heard anything from them that'll make me come back. So but if I was personally friends with that dude, I don't know if I'd put him on fucking worldwide blast on the internet. I don't know. That's a hard one. Rand Paul, Justice Thomas. Yes. 100%. And I probably wouldn't stop. I mean, Rand Paul, look at Speaker Johnson. Now, I don't agree with him. He's got a lot of bad takes, I think, but he lives paycheck to paycheck. And that tells me he's not part of the insider trading bullshit. He's not part of the get rich bullshit. He's not part of the kickback bullshit. And they fucking, like, the media is literally making fun of him because he lives paycheck to paycheck. So yeah, I'm gonna lean that he's probably honest and on the up and up. But yeah, dude, I grew up in the Clinton era. Politics was never on my. I grew up in the Clinton era too. 90s were fucking wild. I love the 90s. I barely remember Reagan. I remember Bush. Um, I was, see, the first election I could have voted in was Clinton the second time. So yeah, I remember Clinton. Fucking, they weren't, politics were not on our side, but they weren't as fucking vile as they are today. Uh, yeah, Black Rifle screwed it. They screwed that pooch to death. I mean, they fucking killed that pooch with fucking screw-in. I wonder how bad that hurt the company. I mean, did they go fucking Bud Light bad? Like, I know they lost a lot, but did they go fucking as bad as Bud Light? I'd love to know. Matt and I have friends in common. I don't believe that bullshit. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, the 90s fucking rocked. Oh, Jesus. 35? You young buck. I'm 47. Oh, I was a latchkey kid when that was cool. Oh. Yes, the Bud Light bubble water. No, wait. No. It's bubble piss. I don't know if you could tell, Bud Light did not give me a check to sponsor them, so and I wouldn't take it anyway. But yeah, Evan was really the driving force. I think I think Evan was the nail in the coffin. Like he was, because he did the fucking New York Times article, if I remember correctly, which was fucking bad, and then did that fucking podcast, just fucking made everything worse, and then fucking, yep. But I'll tell you, the shit that went on between them and Alex Jones, I couldn't care less about. Like, say what you want. They're both grown men. You want to talk shit. You want to fucking puff your chest up and say, I'm coming to your house and kick your ass. Yeah, whatever. Like, internet tough guy. The bullshit around the fucking um Kyle case. That was what did it. 100%. You know, you can go suck up to the fucking New York Times and fucking try to get fucking fluff this and fucking bullshit that. No. I don't know. First off, I wouldn't put money on any of that bullshit. But yeah, I don't know if I'd put money on Alex Jones to win a fight. He's I don't know. We definitely have to test that theory out, wouldn't we? But yeah, that's, internet tough guy bullshit, one adult to another. When they fucking said that bullshit about Kyle, that was it. done with them. But all right. I'm going to bail, guys. Thanks for the podcast. Thanks for all the messages, and I hope it was a good conversation for everybody. And I hope that first hour of news and drama wasn't too painful for everybody. Thanks for showing up, guys. I'll be back soon. I'm gonna try to do a little podcast like once a week, just to vomit out the thoughts in my head. You know how it goes. But got a couple of videos coming up. Shit I'm thinking about, shit I'm working on. So stay tuned, everybody. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to bail. I'll see you soon. Later.